to you if you win. And we so look forward to it. And now we're going to go right into our final panel. This is so exciting. And we will, just as President Ron Zaidman said, we will do more of these. We might have an ongoing discussion about the web that has no weaver. There's a lot more to say about how to treat physical pain, psychic pain, emotional pain, all of those things. So we've got a lot more to talk about, but I did want to bring Adriane Dourte back to, she'll be speaking with us and in a moment, but we do have Erin Lee with us as well. And Erin is here. We're going to start with first the video of Jaime Chavez, and then we're going to go into speaking with Erin and Adriane. So Alex, if you're ready, go ahead and cue up that video. And of course, you've met Adriane already. We're going to hear from Jaime Chavez, and very excited to have everybody here with us. So we'll start with that video, I believe, if you have it ready, Alex.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jaime Chavez. I'm a licensed acupuncturist in California, and I graduated from 5 branches in 2002. I was first exposed to Chinese medicine as a kid. My mom was a patient of acupuncture, and she talked me into trying it when I was in the 3rd grade. And I had acupuncture many times as a kid, but when I graduated from high school, I had a bad shoulder injury. I could barely raise my arm. I saw my mom's acupuncturist once, and the following day, I had full mobility in my arm, and the pain was mostly resolved. And that was a real defining moment when I said, I have to learn this. I'm thankful for that experience, and I'm thankful for 5 branches because I felt like my education was stellar. I had really awesome teachers, and a lot of those teachers I think of on a daily basis when I'm working with patients. I remember what they taught me, the stories they told me, and I feel like all of them were part of who I am today. And with acupuncture and Chinese medicine in general, the learning never stops. The passion to learn is to help people feel better. And so when that's the root of it all, I mean, you just love this medicine. I mean, if you ask me what I did on my vacations or in my free time, my hobby is Chinese medicine. I just love learning about it. And the end result is ultimately help people feel better, which is an awesome motivation in itself. I work for Kaiser Permanente. I've been there since 2008. I'm in their occupational medicine department. I personally specialize in treating injuries. And where I work alongside doctors, physical therapists, surgeons. We have residents who shadow me and learn about acupuncture. So I get to teach them about it and expose them to Chinese medicine for the first time. And with workers' compensation, you have to prove that acupuncture is actually working. And that's what I love about my job is I have to prove what I'm doing is actually helping, whether it's improving function, range of motion, strength, etc. And each day I'm testing the limits of what acupuncture can and can't do. And I can honestly say it does so much. And I am mind blown and baffled about it every single day, honestly. And that is the catalyst, the fire that keeps, me wanting to learn more, that has me, engulfed in this medicine. And it's really a joy, to be honest. This is the greatest profession that I could ever ask for. I don't consider this work. This is my passion. This is my love. This is my hobby. And it's, the end result is to help people feel better. I mean, awesome, right? So if I was going to say one last thing is, remember why you're getting involved into Chinese medicine, what your drive is, what your motivation is. Keep that at the forefront of your decision making. And you will do really well in this career, and you will help a lot of people in the process. So I wish you all the best and good luck.
Excellent. I'm so glad that we got to hear from him. He was unavailable for this live discussion, but any questions that you might have, send them to webinar@5branches.edu. You can always forward those along to our panelists. So we'll look forward to further questions. And we do have Erin Lee joining us. Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah. Okay, good. So go ahead and mute yourself if you're not on the panel here. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and mute if you're not on the panel. And then we do have Erin Lee with us. Dr. Erin Lee, I'm so excited to speak with you. I have so many questions actually because I did notice that not only did you get your master's and your doctorate from 5 branches to become a very accomplished acupuncturist, but I see that you got your bachelor's of science in microbiology from the University of Texas at Austin. So I loved knowing that about you. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about how you kind of came from microbiome to acupuncture, and then a little bit more about your opportunities in the world today as an acupuncturist.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So I actually came into learning about acupuncture when I was still in my undergrad at UT Austin. Originally, I was in the pre-med route, kind of thinking about possibly going to medical school or going into pharmacy or something to that extent. So I was at that pinnacle time where I had to decide, do I start studying for the MCATs? Do I start studying for the GRE in order to kind of decide where to go? And during that time, actually, it was springtime in Texas, and I'm originally from Texas. So cedar allergies, super stressed out, midterms, kind of the works. And I was kind of taking Benadryl and Claritin, and nothing was seeming to help. So a friend of mine who had actually used acupuncture and herbs for quite a long time introduced me to his acupuncturist. And it was honestly within a couple of treatments, as well as taking some herbs, that I noticed a huge difference in not only my stress, but also my allergies. And I kept going back asking questions about, why does this work? A lot of the time when we were in school at UT, kind of the whole idea of alternative medicine or acupuncture and things like that was that maybe there wasn't enough research. But as I went to 5 branches for not only my master's, but my doctorate, I learned that that's really not the case. So there's a lot of research out there showing that acupuncture and herbs are really effective in a multitude of issues, a lot of digestive issues, as well as allergies, as well as nerve pain, and a lot of these things that Western medicine maybe says that there's really not much that they can do about. So I just kept learning more about it through my acupuncturist, and I decided that I wanted to go into this field because I wanted to not feel helpless in being able to help people, and also help people even before they get to the point where maybe they need to take medication or maybe before they need surgery. And so even in my private practice, having graduated in 2016 and having my own practice in 2017, I've been able to help a lot of people with chronic pain or pain that may or could lead to surgery without having surgery. So it's an amazing profession because you're helping people from all different walks of life coming in with all different sorts of disorders and things like that, and you're able to kind of help them out before it gets worse. And so I think that's kind of the most amazing thing about this medicine.
That is so fantastic. And, I was just listening to your story and thinking about how many of us came to this medicine. I know for myself, both because of The Web That Has No Weaver, that book, but also because our personal health benefited from getting acupuncture. And so it sounds like for yourself that was the case. And, I wanted to bring Adriane Dourte back about that as well. And were there certain things that you found that brought you to 5 branches because of, personal health as well? That's what we often ask people is, how can we help you as a university? And then you become a healer in the world.
Is that a question for me?
That's for you. Or how you now assist people with their own sort of healing from that vantage point, from now being a practitioner.
I didn't seek out a lot of alternative medicine before I even started school. I didn't grow up in a family that didn't depend on Western medicine. And so when I decided to go to school for acupuncture, it was because I was working with people with brain injuries. And I found that Western medicine, after the acute medical intervention for brain injuries, there wasn't a lot that was being done for people with brain injuries to help them heal after. And I started doing some research, and I found out that acupuncture plays a huge role early on after brain injury with healing the brain and the body and pain and all those other things. And so I was doing vocational rehab with these people, and I was finding my job to be miserable because they were not being helped in the way that they needed to be helped. So that's how I ended up in school. But very much you are correct that when you show up to that school, you spend all of your years healing yourself while you're there, and you leave your best. So I definitely agree with that as well. So hopefully that answers your question.
That's fantastic. And I saw in Dr. Erin Lee's bio that you also do CrossFit and that you did a specialized sports medicine program while at Five Branches. We got a few questions, and this is for both of you on the panel. We got a few questions about some of those specialized aspects that Five Branches can offer, whether certificates, whether a PhD in China, whether the 100% online program that Professor Nicholas Hancock was speaking of. So, there's a different level of specialization, and people can even get their doctorate, go on and get, a PhD. Erin Lee, can you tell us a little bit about that specialized certificate that you got at Five Branches?
Yeah, so the specialization that I got through Five Branches was the TCM Trauma and Ortho. That was offered through Dr. Fu Tran, who is also a chiropractor and acupuncturist at Five Branches University. So I think that was my biggest interest, because sports medicine and orthopedic medicine has always been a major influence in my life. So I wanted to kind of learn more about the ways that acupuncture can kind of help with muscle injuries, joint injuries, working with athletes, being able to have that conversation with those that are in the sports field. Basically, the program itself was taking in a couple extra courses in addition to doing specialized clinical courses where you do work with athletes, or you do work with different people with sports injuries or orthopedic injuries, and learning how to do things that other professions do, like physical therapists and athletic trainers who use athletic tape. So I think these sorts of things are very important to be able to have that sort of cross-referral system, because when I work with athletes, I'm often working with PTs and chiropractors as well, and making sure that all of our treatments complement each other versus like trying to compete against each other, right? There's really no reason to have competition in medicine. You're there to help patients, and so you want to be able to work well together. The doctoral program, or the DAOM program, was awesome because it actually expanded the information that I learned in the master's program. So a couple of the professors had taught extra information about electroacupuncture, which a lot of athletes really do enjoy. They, as most of us are familiar with TENS units, but electroacupuncture is awesome because you're actually going at a deeper level than what TENS unit would actually usually go, because the needles are directly in the muscles, closer to the nervous system, and you're actually able to have an amazing effect on increasing range of motion, reducing pain, and also increasing circulation. So there was a lot of specialization as well as in the DOM program that was just invaluable to me.
That's fantastic. And that's when you've inserted the acupuncture needle and then you attach the electro aspect to it, so that you're almost getting sort of the heightened version of that stimulation for the acupuncture. Very good. And then Adriane, I know you went to China with part of the kind of journey to China with many of our professors from Five Branches. That's something that I regret not doing. I didn't do that during our program. Can you tell us just very briefly, and we're going to actually wrap up in a moment, but I wanted to pass this along to you about that journey that you took.
I did go to China, and it was definitely an amazing experience. That was probably what most people are most impressed to hear about when they're like, you went to China. And
yes.
And so they're even more excited to even have me as a practitioner because I did. It was an amazing experience. I don't know that I can explain it. It's like if you think when you're in school for acupuncture that it's like a lot to take in, then you go to China and you'll find out it's like 500 times that amount of information in a really short amount of time and in a very different place. And so, but it was absolutely the most amazing time that I spent. And I got to see so many different kinds of practitioners and so many different kinds of modalities. And I believe that actually that's what made it better for me where I currently work at the rehab, because I got to see a bunch of different kinds of techniques. I got to see different levels of intensity for different kinds of treatments for different things. And then just to tie it a little bit back into Five Branches, there in my private practice, I don't have the space or even the time to really do all of the things that I was taught at Five Branches. And the amount of information that you get and the amount of different things that you learn, in addition to like the acupuncture and the herbs, but like the TENS unit you brought up and the Qigong and the Tai Chi and the herbs, all of it, like at the rehab, that allows me to treat so many more people individually with specific things. Like I can just for 2 minutes teach someone a Qigong exercise to open their lungs and allow them to breathe a little bit better real quick. And that's not something that I use a lot in my private practice, but I definitely use it a lot in the rehab, and it can quickly shut down like an asthma attack or an anxiety attack. And so
Yes.
so many amazing little different things in addition to everything that's advertised from all the different teachers and their different educations, that it's just invaluable. And I can't even believe that any other school does it as well. So I'm going to say that, but I definitely, and then my very last comment is that when I studied at 5 branches, there is no other place. I believe it was like you were studying with your family, and everyone got along and everybody wanted to work together. And I absolutely, like Alex said, I love my job so much that every day I get up and go to work, and I have never once gotten in my car and thought, I have to go to work today. Like I absolutely love my job, and I definitely blame all of that on 5 branches.
Well, we've been talking about opportunities for acupuncturists to collaborate with Western practitioners. Thank you both so much. I'm going to pass this whole event now to President Ron Zaidman, who's going to wrap up what we've been discussing. Thank you to all of the panelists. Again, 5branches.edu is our website, and we will have more to come. And President Ron Zaidman, please wrap us up here.
Thank you. Thank you to all the panelists. I think we're all very fortunate, really, just to be in this meeting today. We're fortunate because we've been exposed to Asian thought, certainly as reflected in traditional Chinese medicine. But the fact that, when our university started, China still wasn't open. It is now open, and the exchange we have of cultures now has made all of us so rich inside. And I think that's, for me, it's very heartwarming to hear that from how it's affected everyone who's touched this medicine through our university. There's other there's other universities, but here we do reflect the essence of the medicine of Asian. Every part of it, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, the compassion, the realism, it goes on and on. So this is what we've experienced today. That's what I've experienced today. And if you're interested in learning more about Asian culture and traditional Chinese medicine, I can tell you it'll be a very rewarding trip for you. Whether you do it to become a practitioner or whether you do it simply for your own interest, we go back to the beginning, the web that has no weaver. It's available for a free download online. So thank you all for coming. And if there are other topics you want us to share with you, as you saw today, we really have a wealth of experience and knowledge in our faculty. And we enjoy sharing, and so do our alumni enjoy sharing their knowledge and their experience in their career. So thank you to all the alumni, all the organizers, and everyone. And actually, I would open it up to any final comments from any of the panelists in saying goodbye to our viewers today.
Ron, I would like to thank you for inviting us into this. I mean, truly, as everybody said, this has been a most satisfying journey. Again, whether you choose to do it as a practitioner or whether just study the wisdom that is accumulated in this very, very long conversation that is Chinese history and philosophy. The medicine rocks. It just does. I mean, to be able to help people at this level, I've been doing it for a long time, and I will continue doing it until I fall over.
Okay.
We love that. And thank you so much for everyone who has such dedication. It's always interesting for me to see many of the same people that we went to school together, or we learned from one another. We're professors and colleagues, and you know, all of my professors, I'm so grateful to them, and my colleagues from private practice. We've all helped one another. It's a very collaborative medicine, and we're looking forward to having more collaboration with the Western way in many different aspects. And thank you for joining us. We're so pleased that you all were here and listening.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Have a pleasant evening, everyone.
Thank you all. And thank you.
Until the next time.
Yeah. And thank you, Alex, for everything. And Alex will go ahead and, you know, he'll close the meeting now. I'll take good care now, okay? Thank you.
Thank you again to Alex. That's fun.
Feliz.
Yes.